Hey everybody, thanks for watching. So today I'm out here at Tapeworm Trail. That's like we're looking at Renton, kind of downtown Renton in the area, but we're here Tapeworm. We're gonna ride the Univega DS900 on this little short segment trail, and you know, just kind of you folks get to see kind of how the bike handles. You know, this is an old school trail, and I think it represents a lot of the old school things. Let me just make sure I got the camera going, because I hate to go on this trip and then find out like I didn't get any of it, because it's happened before. So all right, here we go. You know, I have to say what's cool is grip shift. This bike shifts so well. Like it's like it is a first gen Di2 quiet. I love it. Got the dropper, had to put the dropper on here. Just make this bike a little more fun. And here we go. This is Tapeworm proper. Ooh, low branch. On these 20-year-old tires, or 2001, it's now 2023. And this bike is like, I mean, pretty awesome. Look at that. Yeah, and the cool part is up front. It's a 22, 32, 42 set of triple chain rings. So really do get to have some options in terms of shifting. And I know a lot of people these days, you know, poo-poo front derailleurs and stuff, but you know, if you just can't afford a bike that runs narrow wide, this is pretty reasonable. I'm hoping outrun over any Blackberry cane, because I don't, this is not a tubeless setup. Still running tubes, and they got no inner tube protection, so more reason to try to get around in as fast time as possible. You know, I ride my Cannondale FSI out here too, and you know, definitely makes easy work of this, pedaling this 30+ pound bike is a little more work, but what's cool is, you know, these old bikes really demand a bit from you. You know, they're not as forgiving, but man, these Avid, I think they're Avid, right? Pro Max. I mean, these Pro Max brakes, mechanical disc. If I didn't know, I would have thought they're hydraulic. They really feel great for being mechanicals. I've ridden so many mechanical brakes and just felt awful, like where you're kind of like, I need to get some V-brakes, you know, but this is good. Let's see how it does on this tech section. Yeah, you know, a lot of mountain biking, I think, has gotten so darn, you know, gear heavy. Oh, you gotta have this, and you gotta have like this fork, and you know, all this geometry. Man, in all honesty, you know, a lot of mountain biking is skill, and I think if you can develop those skills then and get comfortable, doesn't matter what bike you're on. If you're competing, you know, like you're doing a XC race or something, yeah, maybe this old steed may not be getting you to the podium, but at the same time, you know, if you're not competing, you just want a good old mountain bike that'll do the job, you can get one. And it doesn't have to be the latest and greatest. I mean, look at what I'm doing right now, riding this 22-year-old bike out here. And you know what, for the Pacific Northwest, a lot of people consider this trail to be, you know, kind of intermediate. There's a lot of people I know who struggle on this trail and don't have the, and you know, they're rocking like the latest equipment. You know, like there's a degree of it where it's about the rider. Like here's the tech section, and I'll get off the bike, I'll show you. Like this one can be really hard. Boom, got up it. And on this bike, you know, and what's crazy, I'm glad they blocked it, but look at it. You got this root section, right? And this is a big ass one. And if you look at this, it's stupid. Like, it can be stupid hard. If anybody's ridden tapeworm and you know what I'm talking about, mention in the comments. This is probably the most difficult part of tapeworm, this little section. And I got it done on that bike. You know, there's people who I know for a fact struggle on this, and they got the nicest, I mean shit, they could probably buy 80,000 of these bikes to their one. Hell, their wheel set costs 80,000 times more than this bike. But it is, a lot of it is skill, and that's what drew me to mountain biking compared to road cycling a long time ago. Just the difficulty of it, the challenge. You know, like I rode Tiger Mountain on a hardtail, I loved it. And what's weird is I may not be as fast on my hardtail as much as I am on the same full suspension platform the GT factory racing team's on for EWS. Gosh darn, these brakes are so good. but I had so much fun. You know, it's not about how fast you can go all the time. It's, for me, it's being able to be like, man, look at this. Like, I love tapeworm for its reasons. Hiya! It's so good. Because I love the challenge of not going fast, but the skills, the pure joy of oh, that one I went a little too fast. That thing like washed out in front of me. Foot dab. But yeah, it's just so fun to ride these dumb old bikes, and you know, just all my memories of being a kid who just loved riding a bike, any bike, is shines in this old Univega and a lot of my old bikes, but this one in particular, just because bikes like this, when I was a kid riding a Huffy or a Roadmaster back in the 90s, before I even could compete, or before I even had any bike shop sponsorships. Shout out to Loose Columbia Cycle. But you know, just these machines we kind of gawk at or balk at, and just reading the Facebook forums, you know, there's a guy who buys a mountain bike out dicks, you know, like a GT Aggressor or whatever, and people are like, dude, that's like not a, you're gonna need like, you know, fucking $60,000 bike or something. That's like, no, you just forgot how fun riding a bike can be, and now you let all that because you can afford to get a nice bike. You thumb your nose at people who can't, and that's such a stupid dickhead move, in my opinion. It's like, you know, when I was a kid, I probably would sock a kid in the face for talking shit like that. To be honest, you know, it's like, ride what you brought. And look at this bike is climbing good. Look at that. Front chainring, triple chainring and everything. So much fun. Yeah, I should have done that skinny. Wow, the triples cleared that. Get out of here. I don't know if anybody from the old school mountain bike days would rock triples, and you know, your biggest chainring would be like your chained be like you hit so much stuff at some point. It was just like a bash ring that you couldn't even shift in your big gears with. Man, this bike is a delight. It's got a worn set of it's got a worn set of shock bushings, but the fork and this rear shock feel pretty good still, you know, because they haven't been outright abused. I'm sure if the guy was riding like this for so many years, this bike would not be in the condition that it's in. But we're chugging along. It's so fun. Look at that. Kind of a, be fair, it's a fairly quiet bike. You know, like, this bike actually rides better than my GTR-TS before I broke them. So, yeah, they get worn out. And I got a non-disc brake version of this bike in Mango, and I think I want to say it's a 99, but it's a DS950. And the reason I bought that bike is because back in the day I had competed on that very bike for cross country and downhill before competing on full suspension was even a thing. Or I actually think the inspiration was I saw some pros racing on some Gary Fisher or Trek Y bikes, and I was like, oh, that's cool. You know, back then the LTS was more of a, at the time, a downhill bike. So wasn't really considered a cross-country rig by any means. Look at that. Huh, not skinny. This bike is definitely a lot harder to pedal than my FSI hardtail, but mind you, we're comparing apples and bowling balls here. Wow, such a delightful bike. Actually comfortable. The short stem helps, and the slightly wider bar going to about 720 wide. But my wrists aren't numb. Such a fun bike. I love old bikes. Really like the old school when, yeah, a little bit of wanted to do some cool trousy moves, and wheeling off something at a half or quarter rotation was like the boss move, you know. I love it. It's awesome. Look at this. Ooh. Let's get off there real quick. Look at that. This badass bird. I mean, look at that. You know, look how wide that is, basically. So yeah, you can have fun on old bikes. Don't let people discourage you. You know, people forget, like, I mean, you know, it'd be like telling somebody with a cool classic car, dude, my Camry's got air conditioning, dude, why are you driving that car? It doesn't even have AC. Like, there are other attributes and other reasons that make something classic so good. And I don't think, you know, to be fair, it's these junky ass bikes back in the day that were premier. Now we have more premier stuff and cooler things. But for me, I don't, you know, I always love to remember and how good we have it now, you know, in a good way. Like, people are like, well, you can go ride a bone shaker and, you know, blah blah blah. Like, I'm not saying to that extreme, But this bike has so much life left in it. And if I was a kid, I saw this for 50 bucks in today's world. And I've seen, for example, you know, I was at Tiger Mountain rocking on the hardtail because I'm awesome. No, and I saw a cycling league team, like I think it's Mount Tahoma. So shout out to them if any of you kids are watching. You know, and there's some kids rocking old 26ers. You know, and what am I gonna do? Like, be that dickhead who's like, hey dude, why are you gonna ride the retro POS? Like, what if that's all the mom and dad can afford? You know, like, look what I'm doing. Riding this old janky ass bike too, and I love it. You know, because I just love riding a bike. Doesn't have to be the latest tech. I don't need to be a fanboy for that. And people forget that's what made mountain biking. That's what should continue to make mountain biking cool. But in my opinion, I think the industry's screwing that up a bit. You know, or like now it's like universal derailleurs and a 96 speed tomorrow or whatever. It's like, just make a bike that's easy to maintain, it becomes easier to maintain, makes it bomb proof, it's a good quality bike, and the price isn't going to be like as much as a brand new Toyota RAV4. You know, I know, you know, back then, you know, bikes, I think your coolest bike would be in the ballpark in the 90s. Like, yeah, a few grand. I don't know what that would inflate to, but I can't imagine it being like 14 or 10. I think when I saw bikes breaking into the 10 or 12, grand mark, I said, this is getting stupid. You know, like, make a bike that's good and affordable and rideable. You know, not like, and crazy enough, right? Like, which will be in a video soon enough. I'm gonna buy a good entry-level mountain bike from Amazon or maybe Walmart or something dumb, and we'll just see, like, you know, how far can you, I didn't even pedal through that section. Again, mad skills. And just see how the department store bikes do. Again, look at that. Rode these skinnies on this $50 bike. Even though I just put like a dropper seat post for my spares bin that basically is triple the price of what I bought this bike for. Or 4 times if it's new. I bought this dropper post for about $150 from P&W's cycled, or, you know, refurb program, cycled.pnw components or something. But look at that, we're riding all this cool stuff on this cheap ass bike, and it is awesome. So, gosh darn, I love this bike. And I'm in a second mil chain ring, or first. It's awesome. Look at this. We're climbing, having a good time. Lugging this 26er 30+ pound bike up, ascending. It doesn't work, but it's an enjoyable effort. Heck yeah. Here we go. Bam. Ooh. Back when I used to compete on the DS900 for cross country, man, I must have been super flexible. The water bottle cages on the bottom of this down tube. Phew. But now, what's cool is we had started at the entrance of Tapeworm, exited out on this jalopy, and it is a treat. So I just want to like say, you know, let's put this bike up. For a bike with mechanical discs, all I did was swap out a stem and a handlebar, you know, put in a dropper post, you know, and some crappy performance bicycle Forte pedals, but still rocks the 22, 32, 42 with a front derailleur, rocks a 12x32 cassette in the back, and voila, like, you know, it doesn't have a DBO rear shock, doesn't have like, you know, a tapered whatever through axle and boost. This is old school 100 135 quick release. This is really the origins of mountain biking. You know, like back in the day, this bike was a shit, like, no, easily, you know, like I drooled for bikes like this because, you know, mowing lawns and asking my parents to chip in a little here and there. You know, I would be lucky if I could even score this, you know, after a summer of just mowing lawns for like $5. You know, because it's Yakima, I can't be raking people over the coals, you know, because it's not an affluent neighborhood. But what I'm saying is, if anybody who wants to get into mountain biking is looking at a bike, you can go on a used market and, you know, maybe you'll find something that's nice, that's in, you know, been taken well care of. Or you can go to Dick's Sporting Goods, get yourself a GT Aggressor Avalanche, and believe it or not, those bikes are going to do the trick. I mean, this work's got 2 3/4 travel with a, I think maybe a 3-inch travel back end, and on a URT, a unified rear triangle. And I mean, I got around this course, as you saw. Do not be discouraged by people that are going to knock on, they're going to snub their nose. Everybody has to start somewhere. And, you know, that's the reason I love riding these old bikes, to prove to people you can have fun on cheap, inexpensive bikes. You can upgrade them, you know, on the fly. You can make them to your liking. And yeah, they're not going to be World Cup bikes. They're going to land you on a podium, probably not. But at the same time, they're going to inspire you to go out and ride all the time, like me. Like, I mean, I was honestly looking forward to just riding this bike. And many days I think about just riding this crappy bike, you know, because to me it's like enjoyable just to have that kind of raw, unadulterated, it's not a fancy kind of thing. So anyway, if you have any questions about the bike, you just want to talk shop, feel free to put them in the comments. I always appreciate everybody. As for now, if I'm hoping to do a shredded edit before the rain comes. It's the Pacific Northwestern Washington State of the United States of America, and it might be raining a bunch, so I have to see. Hopefully I can, sucks to when I'm my only cameraman, but yeah, hopefully this gives you some insight, maybe some inspiration. And as always, stay tuned. Thanks for being a subscriber, just watching. All right, take care. Bye.